15 Strange and Forbidden Things in Lesotho. Number 15. The most dangerous way to enter a country. In front of you stands Lesotho, the kingdom in the sky. The only nation on Earth whose entire territory lies above 4,600 feet. Sounds majestic, right? But to set foot here, you'll need more than just a passport. You'll need courage. If you travel by land, you must cross the Sani Pass, the most treacherous mountain pass in Africa. Over a short 5.6-mile stretch, the elevation rises nearly 3,300 feet, with 13 sharp turns and slopes reaching up to 33 degrees, almost vertical. The road is rocky, slippery, and covered in fog all year round. Just one mistake, and your car could plunge hundreds of feet into the abyss below. Many drivers call it the bravery test, a pass only true 4x4 drivers dare to conquer. Think flying would be safer? Think again. Lesotho's Madikane airstrip is one of the most dangerous runways in the world. Only 100 feet long, shorter than a U.S. aircraft carrier, and ending right before a 2,000-foot cliff. Pilots must let the plane free fall for a few seconds off the edge before thin mountain air lifts it up. 1 second too late, and the plane disappears into the mist. And even if you land safely, Lesotho still doesn't welcome you easily. At over 7,800 feet above sea level, the air is thin. Oxygen levels drop by 25%. Visitors from lowlands often experience dizziness, nausea, or even struggle to breathe after just a few steps. So ask yourself, would you dare to cross a death-defying pass, fly over a 2,000-foot drop, and battle the thin air just to reach this kingdom in the clouds? Tell us in the comments below. Number 14. The only country that gets rich by selling water. Not oil, not gold, not diamonds. Lesotho's real wealth comes from selling water. Since 1986, Lesotho and South Africa have jointly built the Lesotho Highlands Water Project, a mega project worth over $8 billion. It pumps water from reservoirs located at 6,500 feet through a system of underground tunnels stretching more than 50 miles through solid mountains, sending it all the way to Johannesburg, South Africa's largest city. At the heart of this project is the Katse Dam, 607 feet tall and set deep within a canyon almost 1,600 feet from base to rim, making it taller than the Eiffel Tower. Its reservoir can store up to 2 billion cubic meters of fresh water, about 800,000 Olympic-sized swimming pools. South Africa, home to over 60 million people, has more than 70% of its land in semi-arid zones. Johannesburg once relied on water trucks during dry seasons. That's why tiny Lesotho, blessed with mountain rain, became the lifeline of a megacity. Each year, South Africa pays Lesotho over $60 million for water, plus hundreds of millions more in electricity fees, since water from Katse Dam also generates 90 megawatts of clean energy for the entire nation. Today, the project is expanding with the Polihali Dam, twice the capacity of Katse, expected to finish by 2030, providing enough water for 15 million South Africans. Number 13. Women who take the lead in love. In Lesotho, there's a tradition that makes many men around the world want to book a flight right away. According to the Basotho leap year custom, during leap years, women have the official right to propose to men, and men are not allowed to refuse unless they have a valid reason. A society where women take charge of love, right in the heart of Africa. And believe me, women in Lesotho are not just brave. They are truly admirable in every way. About 65% of women in Lesotho are literate, the highest rate in southern Africa, even higher than South Africa and Botswana. They run markets, lead farming cooperatives, and in many mountain villages, women are the sole heads of households, because men often work in South African mines. They farm, raise children, and manage finances all at once. Perhaps that's why they're confident, strong, and bold in love. They don't wait to be chosen. They choose who they want. Imagine this. In a continent where traditional gender roles still dominate, Women here can stand in the middle of the village and publicly propose to the man they love. No hesitation, no fear of judgment. Some sociologists call it traditional Basotho feminism, a unique model even Europe admires. In England, women only gained the right to propose in leap years in the 19th century. But in Lesotho, this has been practiced for over 200 years. And if you're a foreign man, be careful. A gentle smile or a friendly look in Lesotho could be taken as a yes. According to custom, once a woman chooses you, you'll need a sacred reason to refuse. Number 12. Women forbidden to wear pants. In New York or Paris, jeans are a symbol of freedom. In Tokyo, they're a statement of individuality. But in Lesotho, wearing a pair of pants could get you into serious cultural trouble. In many mountain regions, such as Mokhotlong and Tabaseka, women are forbidden to wear pants. Doing so is considered disrespectful to men, even a stain on Basotho culture. Instead, women are expected to wear a mose, a long hand-woven wool skirt that reaches the ankles, heavy and warm, made from Highland sheep's wool. Every pattern on the skirt carries meaning, clouds, mountains, or rivers, representing their connection to Mother Earth. Imagine this. In today's modern world, where women drive supercars and run billion-dollar companies, a girl in Lesotho could still be publicly scolded by a village chief just for wearing pants. Some foreign tourists have even been asked to change their clothes before entering a village or attending a local festival. For the Basotho people, this isn't seen as oppression, but as respect for tradition. However, the younger generation in the capital, Maseru, is slowly breaking that boundary. Modern girls mix traditional skirts with denim jackets, creating a look that's both strong and elegant. A new fashion trend called modern Basotho is emerging. Number 11. The African kingdom obsessed with skiing. Yes, you heard that right. In the middle of sunny Africa lies a kingdom where it actually snows. Lesotho is the only country on Earth whose entire territory sits above 3,300 feet. Every winter, while the rest of the continent bakes in the heat, Lesotho's Maluti Mountains turn white with snow. At an altitude of 9,800 feet, the Afriski Resort, located near the South African border, becomes the only ski resort south of the equator and one of just two in all of Africa. The other is in Morocco. Afriski welcomes more than 20,000 visitors each season, a most from Johannesburg and Cape Town, people who drive 6 hours across the border just to touch real snow. Here, you can ski, snowboard, have snowball fights, and sip hot cocoa at the Gondola Cafe, where flags from every guest country hang proudly on the walls. There's even the Kapoko Snow Park, where young Basotho train like Winter Olympians. In winter, temperatures can drop to 90 degrees, snow can reach over 3 feet thick, and you might see African locals wearing traditional wool Basotho blankets gliding across white slopes, a sight that feels both surreal and magical. Number 10. The people who live in caves. In the remote Berea Mountains of Lesotho lies a mysterious village called Hakoma, where people still live in caves made from natural rock, plastered with mud and cow dung, a tradition that's lasted for more than 150 years. The residents here belong to the Basia tribe, descendants of families who fled tribal wars in the late 19th century. They carved deep into basalt cliffs and turned caves into permanent homes. The reddish-brown clay walls still bear the fingerprints of their ancestors, while thick stone roofs shield them from rain and wind all year round. But they don't live here just to preserve the past. Today, 6 families still inhabit the Hakoma caves, with no electricity, no internet, drawing water from streams, using oil lamps for light, and cooking corn grown on mountain slopes. Life here is so quiet that you can hear the wind singing through the rocks like an ancient melody. The Lesotho government has declared Hakoma a National Heritage Site with a small visitor center at the mountain's base. Every year, a few hundred adventurous travelers hike up just to witness the last real cave dwellers of Africa. They take photos, astonished to see children brushing their teeth with wood ash, women cooking over clay stoves, and men wrapped in the iconic wool Lesotho blanket. Number 9. Selling rainwater is illegal. You probably think rainwater belongs to nature, right? Well, in Lesotho, even the rain isn't yours. According to the Water Resources Act of 2008, every drop of natural water, from rain, rivers, streams, to groundwater, is considered national property, managed in the name of the King of Lesotho. That means if you collect rainwater from your roof and sell it to your neighbor, you've broken the law. What seems like a harmless act is officially classified as illegal exploitation of national resources, equivalent to smuggling minerals. And the penalty is harsh. A fine of about $2,600 or up to 3 years in prison, in a country where the average annual income is only about $1,500. In other words, 1 barrel of rainwater could cost you 3 years of freedom. Why such a bizarre law? Because Lesotho considers water its blue gold, the lifeblood of its economy, as we've already seen. So, while many countries encourage citizens to collect rainwater to protect the environment, in Lesotho, simply placing a bucket under the rain without a permit could get you arrested. Number 8. Diamond mines in the sky. Did you know Africa has a diamond mine that sits in the sky? Unlike the deep, dusty pits of Botswana or South Africa, the Letching mine sits high in the Maluti Mountains, a remote area you can only reach after 4 hours of winding mountain roads. But the reward is worth the risk. This is where the world's purest and most expensive diamonds are born. On average, Letching diamonds sell for over $2,000 per carat, nearly 4 times higher than Botswana's famous Jwaneng mine, often called the King of Diamonds. Since 2006, Gem Diamonds has operated the mine with a 70% stake, while the Lesotho government holds 30%, securing massive foreign revenue for this small mountain kingdom. It's also where 3 of the 20 largest white diamonds ever recorded were discovered, including the legendary Lesotho Promise, 603 carats, and the Letcheng Star, 550 carats. And Letcheng isn't alone. Lesotho has over 30 kimberlite pipes, with other premium mines such as Mothe, Kao, and Likobong, producing luxury gems that end up in Antwerp, Belgium, the world's diamond trading capital. There, collectors from Israel, the Netherlands, and India are willing to pay tens of millions of dollars for a single stone. Number 7. Married women. Forbidden to buy land or take loan. Can you believe that in the 21st century, right in the heart of Africa, there's still a place where married women can't legally own property in their own name? Under traditional Lesotho marriage law, once a woman marries, she becomes a legal dependent of her husband. That means she cannot buy land, sign contracts, or take out bank loans without her husband's signature. Even if she's the main breadwinner, all assets are still registered under the husband's name. Sound familiar? Not long ago, many Western countries had similar laws. In the United States, for instance, women couldn't open a bank account without their husband's consent until 1974. In Lesotho, the rule has been relaxed in major cities, but in rural areas, custom still overrides modern law. The irony: women are the real economic backbone of Lesotho. They make up over 60% of the workforce in agriculture and small trade, raising children, managing markets, and selling crafts. In many villages, when men leave to work in South African mines, women keep the entire local economy alive. Some NGOs, such as the Lesotho Federation of Women Lawyers, are fighting to abolish this law, calling it the legal shackle on Africa's highest mountain. Number 6. Blankets. The traditional attire of Lesotho. First-time visitors to Lesotho are often surprised to see locals wrapped in thick, colorful blankets, walking through villages, open fields, and even wedding halls. But for the people of Lesotho, this isn't an odd fashion choice. It's a proud national identity that's over a century old. According to Help Lesotho, this tradition began in 1860, when King Moshoeshoe IV, the founder of the nation, was given a European wool blanket as a gift. He loved it so much that he abandoned his royal leopard skin cloak, once the ultimate symbol of power. The people followed his example, and thus the Basotho blanket was born, becoming an inseparable part of everyday life in Lesotho. Today, each blanket carries its own meaning. Patterns of whales, ostrich feathers, suns, or crowns represent one's clan, status, or life event. People wear blankets at weddings, births, funerals, and even at royal coronations. In the freezing Maluti Mountains, the blanket is also a warrior's armor against icy winds. Thousands of herdsmen wear them to work every day. Young cow herds with wool balaclavas and rubber boots look like mountain warriors of the modern age. Number 5. The king is immune from all crimes. Have you ever wondered what happens if a king commits a crime? In Lesotho, the answer is simple. No one can judge him. The country's constitution clearly states, "The king shall not be sued or charged." In other words, the king of Lesotho stands above all courts, all punishments, and all legal limits. He is one of the very few heads of state in the world granted complete immunity, even from civil and criminal law. It may sound like something from a medieval epic, but this is real-world 21st century Lesotho. In the United Kingdom, Queen Elizabeth II had symbolic immunity that she never used. In Lesotho, however, this privilege is written directly into the Constitution and enforced in practice, making the king literally untouchable, both physically and legally. Of course, that doesn't mean the king can do whatever he pleases. In theory, he rules under the advice of Parliament. But in reality, his symbolic authority and centuries of cultural reverence make him nearly beyond challenge. In the Basotho Highlands, villagers believe the king embodies the spirit of their ancestors, a sacred figure who can bless or curse the entire nation. Number 4. Lesotho's most spectacular festival. Every October, Lesotho bursts into color and rhythm with the Moria Arts and Cultural Festival. Held over 4 lively days, the festival attracts between 20,000 and 30,000 attendees each year. Visitors from South Africa, Botswana, Zimbabwe, and even Europe. First launched in 1999 in the town of Moricha, it's celebrated as the cultural soul of Lesotho, where music, dance, and craftsmanship come together in a living mountain symphony. At sunrise, the sound of mokorotlo drums echoes through the valley, signaling the start of traditional Basotho dances. Performers dressed in bright wool blankets, the country's proud national symbol. More than 200 local and international artists join concerts, plays, and the famous Ndlamo dance, whose sharp leg-kicking moves are said to capture the spirit of the mountain people. When night falls, the outdoor stage transforms into a massive open-air concert. Bands from Lesotho and South Africa playing under bonfires as thousands dance together beneath the stars. Beyond music, visitors can enjoy Basotho cuisine such as papa lamoroho, cornmeal with greens, and joala, a traditional sorghum beer, while browsing over 100 craft stalls featuring hand-woven blankets, baskets, wooden masks, and basalt stone sculptures. Number 3. People ride horses to the mountains every day. Can you imagine having to ride a horse to school, to work, or even to the hospital? In Lesotho, that's not a movie scene, it's daily life. Because the entire country sits above 4,600 feet, with 70% of its land covered by mountains, Lesotho has very few roads suitable for cars. Villages perched high in the Maluti Mountains are only accessible by horse, mule, or on foot, often after hours of travel. Here, especially among Basotho men, horseback riding is second nature. They ride small but incredibly tough mountain horses that can climb slopes of 45 degrees, cross rivers, walk through snow, and even move safely through dense fog without slipping. For visitors, even walking a few hundred feet at this altitude can leave you breathless. But Lesotho people ride their horses as casually as walking down a city street. Children ride to school, teachers ride to teach, and rural doctors, you guessed it, ride horses to reach their patients. The World Health Organization once reported that over 20% of Lesotho's mountain healthcare services are delivered through mobile horse clinics, where doctors and medicine are carried by horseback to remote villages. For the Lesotho, horses are more than transport. They're a symbol of identity. During the National Moria Arts and Cultural Festival, hundreds of riders draped in traditional wool blankets parade through the valleys, a breathtaking image of Lesotho pride. Number 2. A twin nation of Lesotho. If there were a competition for the most unlikely pair of twin nations, Wales and Lesotho would win hands down. One is a misty European land of castles hidden in British rain. The other, an African kingdom floating above the clouds, higher than many mountain peaks. It sounds like a joke, but they are officially twin nations. Though nearly 5,600 miles apart, the two share striking similarities: rugged landscapes, harsh climates, and remarkably resilient people. In Lesotho, horseback mountain travel is part of life. In Wales, hillside villages require steep climbs just to reach the market. Think walking in San Francisco is hard? Try hiking up Lesotho's Maluti Mountains or Wales' Snowdonia Range. Their languages also share an odd kinship. Welsh is filled with tricky L's and W's, while Sesotho, Lesotho's national language, uses sharp click sounds that take foreigners weeks to master. Both languages are sources of national pride, and both fight to survive the dominance of English. This unique bond was formalized in 1985 when Wales and Lesotho signed an agreement to become the world's first intercontinental twin nations. But it didn't stop at symbolism. Over 130 schools from both countries have since built partnerships, exchanging students and teachers to experience life on the other side of the world. The connection extends to healthcare too. In Lesotho, there's just one doctor for every 17,000 people, so medical students from Wales often come to train here, while Lesotho health workers are sent to the UK for further education. This partnership isn't for show. It's a shared effort to save lives. Number 1. Pointing at someone is forbidden. Have you ever pointed at someone while talking without thinking twice? In most countries, it's harmless, but in Lesotho, pointing your index finger at someone can earn you angry stares, or even be seen as deeply disrespectful, especially toward elders, village chiefs, or monks. In Lesotho culture, the index finger symbolizes accusation or command, gestures considered arrogant and inappropriate for ordinary people. That's why locals never point directly. Instead, they use an open hand or a slight nod to indicate direction, a small gesture that carries great respect. It might seem overly strict, but Lesotho isn't alone. In the Philippines, pointing at others is also seen as rude. In Malaysia and Indonesia, it's considered inviting trouble. In Lesotho, the meaning goes deeper. People believe that pointing transfers negative energy to the person being pointed at. One tour guide shared a story. A foreign visitor once pointed at an old man while asking his name. Instantly, the crowd went silent, and I had to apologize on his behalf. So if you ever visit Lesotho, remember the golden rule. Don't use your index finger, use an open hand instead. And that brings us to the end of today's journey, exploring 15 strange and forbidden things in Lesotho. Which one surprised you the most? Or do you have your own story about this mountain kingdom to share? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And tell us, which country should we cover next? Your suggestion might just become the next travel documentary on this channel. See you in the next episode.